Everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. Self-exaltation, you know what that is. It's pride. But the one who humbles himself will be exalted. It is humility. First, let us learn about Jesus' humility. St. Paul, in his letter to the Philippians, expresses clearly how Jesus humbled himself. That though he was true God, he emptied himself. That is, he refrained from showing and using his divine nature. When he was being badly treated, how easy it would have been for him to reveal his deity and say, "Do you know any idea who you are talking to?" But he didn't. Most importantly, though he humbled himself by allowing himself to be crucified for us, he humbled himself, becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Christ's humility was not only example, Christ's humility was our salvation. True humility depends only on God's mercy, and God's mercy is found only in Christ crucified. To humble oneself is to depend only on Christ's humility. This humbling of ourselves is not a one-time event. It must continue until we die. For the devil, the world, and our own sinful nature are constantly inciting us to pride and self-exaltation. Therefore, we must continue to strive to humble ourselves in repentance and faith. We humble ourselves when we think little of our own gifts and highly of others. When we rejoice rather than pout. When someone else is exalted and we are not. When we are content with laboring for Christ without thanks or praise. When it is not about me and reputation, but Christ and His. Most importantly, we are humble when we give God all the credit and praise for anything good that we do. If you want to be used by God, then know that God does His greatest works through those who humble themselves. Think of Paul's example. God did so many mighty works through Paul and allowed him to see lofty visions of heaven. Paul writes, because of the abundance of the revelations, that I might not become too elated, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, an angel of Satan to beat me, to keep me from being too elated. God allowed the thorn in the flesh to keep Paul from falling into self-exaltation and pride, keep him humble. It is because of love, not hatred, that God allows us to suffer so that God humbles us. It is for our good, so that through suffering we do not fall into pride. so that we learn to always depend on His grace, so that we might be even more useful to Him. God allows us to experience shame and personal failure, so that we grow in our appreciation of God's grace through Christ, so that we learn to glorify Jesus even more. Brothers and sisters, humble yourself the more, and you will find favor with God. Amen.